day, dear viewers. My name is Anabraba. I'm a 300 level law student of the University of Ibadan and an undergraduate intern at HARLEM Solicitors. Today, I'll be talking to you about duty of care and environmental remedial obligation under Nigerian Telecommunications law. Duty of care is a legal obligation which is imposed on an individual, which requires adherence to a standard of reasonable care when performing acts that could foreseeably cause harm. Environmental remedial obligation is removal of contaminants and pollution from the environmental media such as soil, sediments, groundwater, and surface water. The Nigerian Communications Act of 2003, which is the principal legislation guiding telecommunications law in Nigeria, discourages the infliction of detriment and inconvenience on individuals and the environment, however vestigial, during the installation of telecommunication network facilities. Section 136, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Communications Act of 2003 provides that telecommunication network operators shall, in the installation of their network facilities, take reasonable steps to ensure that they cause as little detriment and inconvenience and do as little harm as is practicable. The concept of environmental remedial obligation ensures that a landowner does not suffer any detriment and inconvenience as a result of the use of his land. Section 136, subsection 2 of the Nigerian Communications Act of 2003 provides that a telecommunication network operator who has damaged any land as a result of his installation activities shall take reasonable steps to restore the land to its original condition prior to the commencement of the installation activities. Section 136, subsection 3 further provides that telecommunication network operators, in connection with the installation of their network facilities, shall take reasonable steps to ensure that they act in accordance with good engineering practices, protect the safety of persons and property, ensure that their installation activities interfere as little as practicable with the operation of public utilities, public paths and roads, the movement of traffic, and the use of land, and they must ensure that they protect the environment. Section 136, subsection 4 of the Nigerian Communications Act of 2003 provides that telecommunication network operators have a duty of care to enter into agreements with providers of public utilities prior to the commencement of their installation activities. The National Environmental Standards Regulations Enforcement Agency, NESRIA, in its regulation, National Environmental Standards for Telecommunication and Broadcasting Facilities 2011, hereinafter referred to as the NESRIA Regulation of 2011, in Regulation 5 sub 3, it provides that the siting and installation of base stations, masts, and towers shall not be detrimental to environmental protection, general welfare, public health and safety, must not have any negative effect on the host and immediate transit neighborhood, must be in conformity with the plan of the particular area and the general plan of the host and immediate transit neighborhood. Also, Regulation 11 sub 2 provides for the penalty for failure to comply with this provision. It provides that any telecommunication network operator who has not complied with this provision commits an offence and shall be liable on conviction to a fine of a sum not exceeding 5 million naira or imprisonment for a term of 5 years or both, and an additional fine of 250,000 for every day that the offence subsists. Also, such telecommunication network operators shall be made to clean up and remediate the polluted environment. Abandonment of base stations. By virtue of clause 9.4a of the Nigerian Communications Commission's guidelines on the technical specification for the installation of telecommunications masts and towers 2009 and Regulation 6.1 of the National Regulation of 2011, a base station is said to have been abandoned if it has not been in operation for a period of 3 years. Now, to ascertain if a base station has been abandoned, you will need to go through the maintenance logbook, which is to be kept at every site. The logbook is to be readily accessible to inspectors from NCC and other duly authorized personnel. The logbook is to contain the date of the installment of the mast or tower, the inspection due date, the major and minor maintenance due dates, amongst others. Failure to keep a logbook constitutes an offence. Where the NCC determines that a base station has been abandoned, it will request for the appropriate documentation, which is the maintenance logbook, to determine the effective date of the abandonment. When the NCC determines the effective date of the abandonment, it will issue a 90-day notice to the tower owner to either rehabilitate and commence usage or remove or dismantle the mast or tower. This 90 days begins to count from the date of the issue of the notice. When a tower owner fails, refuses, or neglects to comply within the 90-day period issued by the NCC, the NCC will exercise its regulatory mandates by taking steps to decommission and dismantle the mast or tower, the price of which will be borne by a telecommunication network operator who has failed to comply. In addition, he will be liable to pay a sum of a fine not less than 250,000 naira to the commission. Regulation 6 sub 1 of the National Regulation of 2006 sub 2 of the National Regulation of 2011 provides that an abandoned base station shall not be allowed to pose threats to the environment, human health, and safety. Also, Regulation 6 of 3 provides that an abandoned base station, mast or tower shall be removed in conformity with the Environmental Impact Assessment Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and the Nigerian Act of 2007. Also, Nigeria places a burden on the tower owner to ensure remediation by restoring the site of the abandoned mast or tower to its natural state within 6 months of the abandonment. In conclusion, telecommunication network operators have a duty of care to ensure that their installation activities does not affect the environment or individuals in the environment adversely. I hope I've been able to explain to you the duty of care and environmental remedial obligation under Nigerian Telecommunications law. For more information and inquiry, visit our website at www.HARLEM Solicitors and our social media at HARLEM Solicitors. Thank you.